Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, we'll talk COVID-19 headlines, including the frustration for superintendents looking for guidance on high school fall sports. I'll also talk with Derby handicapper Ellis Starr. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome to Hey, Kentucky with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer. Keith, the third largest number of coronavirus cases announced today, 906. So my guess is the mask mandate is going to be sticking around for a little while.
Without a doubt. And this one kind of surprises me that we are trending that way. But I think even the governor said that September could be kind of a rough month.
Yep. So let's begin with the latest on the coronavirus. The Lexington-Fayette County Health Department reported 122 new cases on Monday. That's the second highest single-day total in Fayette County since the pandemic began. Overall, the department says the case numbers in Lexington have spiked because of students returning to UK's campus. But the virus is still a citywide issue.
Think about students. They work in our businesses. They attend our groceries. They go to our events. That it can get spread very quickly to the rest of the population.
The next big concern is Labor Day weekend. The health department says the last two holidays, COVID-19 cases rose sharply in the 10 to 14 days after. So people are encouraged to continue washing their hands, wearing masks, and getting tested. On the state level, we are approaching some grim milestones. As of yesterday, 50,000 cases and 1,000 COVID-19 related deaths. And that was the thing about this high number today, Keith, is that this is going to be Labor Day weekend coming up. So we're probably going to see those numbers go up a little bit.
A lot of people getting together for some parties, going to the lake, just getting together. Yeah, you're right. We could see some of those numbers go up, which we don't need. We're this close to having sports happen, and so we need everybody to take care of themselves so that can carry on.
That's exactly right. Let's stay with the pandemic. Governor Beshear has signaled that he expects to extend his mask mandate again later this month. Yesterday's statement came as the governor reported more than 800 new cases for the second straight day, now 3 straight days. Beshear says they appear to be creeping up and we need to watch it. And that's that the state is in a dangerous place battling the outbreak. Meanwhile, some school districts are trying to ward off the threat of lawsuits from families with students who contract the virus after a return to the classroom. They are asking parents to sign a waiver agreeing that the district can't be held liable if their student contracts or is exposed to the virus at school. The waivers carry extra significance in districts like Pulaski County, where one school plans to bring kids back in next week, going against the governor's recommended start date. Keith, these the waivers have always just kind of bothered me a little bit because I just don't know how you can guarantee it's coming from the school, and parents still have the option to keep their kids home if they are truly worried about it. And I think that's what you should do.
But it does seem too like there are so many parents that are pushing to have their kids in school, whether they have no other option or whether they just want them to be there and be around everybody else. So I kind of get where the school system's coming from if they're getting that pressure for the kids to be there. You're right, they can stay at home. Most places have said you can continue to work from home if you'd rather.
Yep. All right. Some Kentucky superintendents are expressing a little frustration over guidance for fall high school sports. Leaders say they are getting mixed messages about how to proceed. The KHSAA tried to provide the best practices for athletic programs to pursue during the pandemic in a 47-page document. But the Department of Education wants to know how the KHSAA will develop things like COVID testing protocols and mental health support resources. A group of Republican lawmakers in Frankfort is blasting the KDE for requesting more guidelines, saying they're making it harder for schools to carry out the plan. High school football across Kentucky is currently set to kick off next Friday. And Keith, I truly don't think the KHSAA left any stone unturned when trying to figure out the best way for these kids to get back to playing the games they love. They're doing their best. It's almost 50 pages worth of guidance.
Yeah, they had lots of great conversations when they were together on their board of control. They put out what they thought is best to keep the kids safe. You mentioned football starting on Friday, but actually on Monday is when you're allowed to start with things like, volleyball and some of the other sports, some soccers and things like that. So yeah, at this point, it looks like they're carrying on, and whether anybody else is ready or not, it's happening coming next week.
Yep. Well, as preparations continue for the 146th running of the Kentucky Derby this Saturday in Louisville, Metro Police are preparing for protests linked to the Breonna Taylor case. We don't know how many protesters or counter-protesters will line the streets outside Churchill Downs, but several groups have already pledged to show up. Louisville's mayor and police say they'll be ready to handle any issues. Greg Fisher says police are prepared to make arrests if protesters block traffic, commit vandalism, or trespass on private property. And they're taking steps to ensure there are no clashes. Police have been talking to leaders of several groups, including the NFAC, which plans to protest for about 4 to 5 hours.
I have been impressed, especially at the last couple major demonstrations, about the communication ahead of time. I think that's been very smart and thoughtful by everybody. And you know what? If you can have a dialogue about something like that, I hope that we can go, as time evolves, a little deeper.
And racial justice is a goal that we all support, and we support First Amendment rights. We just have to balance the right to protest with our essential duty to preserve public safety.
Kentucky State Police and National Guard troops will also help with public safety efforts. And Keith, I think that's the most important thing that we all want to see out of Derby Day, is that everybody just stays safe.
Yeah, I hope they do. I hope there are hundreds and hundreds of people there to protest, and they're doing it safely and just getting their voice out, and nothing else becomes of it. Churchill Downs came out today with a statement saying they know that people don't agree that they're carrying on with the Derby, some people, and that they feel like it is something that needs to be inclusive to all of the community, all of the state. And so that's one of the reasons they're doing it. And they're also hoping to tell stories. They said they realized that there were black jockeys that were not allowed to run in the race at some point during their history, and they're hoping to make sure that they know that they're behind anyone that wants to ride that is a jockey, no matter what your race, ethnicity, religious background, anything can take part in the Kentucky Derby. Certainly
we can hopefully learn some things during this time as well. Now to UK basketball. Last night we aired my interview with the team's new recruiting coordinator, Jay Lucas. Now the former Texas basketball assistant is also talking about the latest group of players that Coach Cal has already brought in for 2020. In particular, Lucas is excited about Kentucky's new backcourt combination of B.J. Boston, Terrence Clark, and Devin Askew.
I think the guards in the backcourt with B.J., Terrence, and Devin, I think that's I can't imagine of a better trio of freshmen than that three right there. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to just be around them and get to work with them and help them grow.
You can see more of my interview with Jay Lucas on BBN Game Day, which airs this Saturday at 8:30 right here on LEX 18. Keith, BBN Game Day, Part 2. We're back for another week.
They must have liked us. They let us come back for another show. Jay Lucas is right, though. This is a special guard group, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I just hope that we are able to. We know that basketball season's so far off, and we're more concerned with football season right now, but I certainly hope we get a chance to see these guys because they're going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, there'll be a special group of guards for sure. All right, now to our weekly feature on Hey Kentucky, What's the Beat? Sponsored by the Kentucky Beef Council. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend has filed a civil lawsuit in Louisville seeking damages for the toll that Taylor's death and events that have transpired in subsequent months have taken on him. Kenneth Walker was with Taylor at her apartment just before 1 a.m. on March 13th when 3 LMPD officers dressed in plain clothes carried out a no-knock warrant for a drug case. That's tonight's edition of What's the Beat? Up next on Hey Kentucky, I'll talk Derby with handicapper Ellis Starr. He'll give us a preview of the big race, which is just 2 days away. Stay with us.